I have this little habit of when I go to the 4 chord, I do the major 4, then go to the minor 4. It's kind of a thing, and so I have another tune that does the same damn thing and do a little medley. Like that. Thank you, folks. A song called Dirty Old Bee. How are we doing on time there, Martin? What's that? Okay. All right, cool. All right, I've got an acoustic record I've been working on for a hot minute. I got various different tunes I'm gonna kind of have on it, I reckon. Here's one we just recorded the other day. I'll see if I can play it for you. What's great about your own acoustic songs is that if you mess them up, no one's really gonna know. So there you have it. like that. It's a little bit painful. All right, here we go. I'm gonna do kind of a little adaptation of a Merle Travis tune for you. And then we'll see you back here at 11 o'clock, right? Am I 11? All right, folks, thank you very much. I'm Greg Koch, proud to be here with our Fishman friends. We'll see you back here at 11 o'clock. Thanks, folks. Awesome. Thank you very much. Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll have the electric guitar, and I'll be doing the Fishman Fluence with my new signature model. Come on back. All right, thank you. Thanks. Thank you. How you doing? Oh, cool, yeah. And are you from Australia? Are you okay? You know, for some reason you sounded Australian for a hot second. So you're over for the, obviously for the festivities. So far, so good? Yeah, the adjustment. Sounds good. How you doing? Oh, yeah. Cool. Nice to see you. Yeah. Having fun so far? Oh, okay. A lot less white powder this time. Like the 80s. How you doing? I'm pumping. I'm a 10-year-old. Oh, I'm sorry about that. It's awesome. Oh, it's not a bad thing. Cool. Thank you. Oh, well, tell him I say hello. How you doing?
It's really any guitar I've played on so far. Having worked on several different guitar pickup projects over the years, I'd say that Fishman has the most innovative and efficient design process that I've personally experienced when it comes to designing guitar pickups. Their technology is super crazy.
I will indeed. At 11, I'm going to do a solo thing, and then
really
at 4
chill
o'clock, I'll be
evening at the Buddy Tosin's home studio with Frank Falbeck from Fishman. And by the end of the night, I just
yes, I do have that in the
perfect
back.
set of guitar pickups.
Yeah. Jack's hard!
So working with Keith Moore was definitely a unique case for us. Keith already established himself in the music industry as someone who could voice pickups or work in part development. So
Trying to cause
he's
trouble.
very
Yeah, I know, man. You're all right. I'll come over and harass you. You guys have booth?
He said that he was very intrigued with the Fluence technology He definitely thought that it was something that most other pickups couldn't do on the market. So when it came time to do R&D with Keith, it was actually pretty good because we knew what we could offer him, and he knew exactly what he was looking for.
You know, I've known Keith for a long time, and we kind of both knew that eventually someday we would end up working together. And so when he told me that he was working on this new guitar, it just seemed like the timing was perfect. One of the most fun things about this project was getting that feel and that vibe from Keith. This core technology really just allows us to do almost anything we want. So these pickups that we made for this guitar are really a testimonial to the flexibility and the range that's contained within this Fluence core.
So Keith's custom set has 3 voicings. The first voicing is a mid-gain pickup with full body and like a cool lower mid bump. Definitely very quirky and explosive when you hit the lower notes. This is a cool sound for Keith. This is something that I think that he's been searching for and has kind of used in some capacity throughout his career. It's something that he's very familiar with.
I did start off learning that style of playing, the connected stuff. I did start off with that. I probably would have done it so I did, so I just got used to doing fingers. So by the time I
We were able to get this tight, articulate, yet robust.
Here with Priest today. I think this is the 7th date on the tour, and it's going great. The Fishman stuff's been holding up well. I'm using it in. I've got 3 guitars with me that have got the Fluence pickups in. I've got all moderns with me on this run. Yeah, I'm using an Explorer, one of the ESP Edwards Explorer with the moderns, and I've flipped them round. I'm using the Alnico in the bridge. I find it's got a little bit of a thicker punch to the low end for what I'm after with Priest here. So yeah, it's going great. The thing I liked about the Classics, it's got that sort of more open sort of squelch to the tone where you dig in, especially for lead stuff, you're getting a little bit more of that pick attack out of it. Where the moderns sort of a little bit more linear in the mid-range, it's still open, but the Classics have got that real sort of almost an active passive vibe to them. They've got a little bit more gain than something like a JB, but they've got that sort of feel to it. So I found it suited some of the guitars, especially Flying Vs, which obviously I've got a few of, that it gave it a bit more depth to the V rather than that sort of mid-range honk all the time. So yeah, I am digging the Classics, but it's just at the moment I've got the moderns with the guitars that I've got out with me. So yeah, we've got the open core stuff as well that we're going to fit into one of my Vs while we're out here. We haven't done it yet, but purely because of the look, the classic humbucker look of them, it suits the V really good and keeps the look to it. So yeah, we're going to be fitting those in a couple of days hopefully. I'd say they're active in the respect that they've got that active response to them. They've got a real fast response, which I noticed as soon as I started using the moderns. I was like, wow, this is lively. It's got a real, quick response. As soon as you hit that string, you feel it coming back at you. And I hadn't felt that out of a pickup in a long time. And some of the pickups I was using from the late 80s, early 90s, I felt had a bit of that, but they've got an immediate response, which I really liked. I think what Fishman have managed to get here with the voicing of the Classics is, if you're really used to the passive side of things, you really should check these out, because it's got that openness and that, like I say, that attack and squelch to it that I haven't heard out of an active pickup before. So if you're after that something extra and the clarity, I think it's well worth checking out. And the other thing I haven't mentioned as well is how useful the rechargeable batteries are as well. We've got all of them, all my guitars that we've got out with me now, we've got on charge every day, but it's just so convenient being able to do that rather than having a box of 9 volts that you're polluting the earth with. So I think the whole battery situation is really well thought out as well.
That sounds good. Where you at? Cool. Lurking. Hey. Oh. This microphone is doing strange things. That's right. Check it, check. Checking 1 damn 2. How's everybody doing? You all right? Billy, how are you? All right, folks. Hang on just a second here. All right, fun stuff this year. I have a new signature guitar with Reverend that has my Fishman Fluence pickups in it. They come with the guitar, which is fun. And I started working with Fishman on these pickups. Boy, I don't know, a few years back. Ken Susi in the house, say what? And sorry, I've got kind of a random thing where I'll just kind of speak. It's not Tourette's, it's just kind of non sequitur-ism. I don't even know what that means. There, I did it again. Anyway, so the gist of the pickups that I wanted to have happen is to look like regular T-style pickups. Have them sound like regular T-style pickups, but have no noise. And then have the ability to have some kind of an incremental, shall we say, girth reinforcement. So basically what happened was we developed pickups that, as you see, look like regular Tele pickups, but it also comes with this little compartment. So in here is everything that allows us to change the voicings, which is this button right here, which allows me to go from like a, for lack of a better term, we went with a white guard Tele, so something that would happen in the late 50s with a certain brand. And then if you press this button in, it's more like a black guard Tele, so you get a little bit more girth. So everything that we need to make these pickups sound the way they do comes in this compartment. So when you buy a set of Fishman Fluence Gristle-tone pickups for Telecaster, it comes with these pickups, this control panel, and the input jack, because the input jack not only has a 1/4-inch input, but it has a mini USB input as well, and that's how you charge the battery in here. Because when they said, well, there's a battery involved, I was like, I don't want to change batteries. They're like, save your breath, fella. All you got to do is plug in your mini USB phone charger, and for an 1.5 hour charge, you get 300 hours of playing time. And that's plugged in playing time. That's a long ass time. If you got a gig that lasts longer than 300 hours, perhaps you need to talk to your representation, because that's pestilential. You know what I'm saying? So let's just see what it sounds like a little bit. I'm going through my, I know it seems weird to say, my signature amp and my signature guitar. As far as I'm concerned, when you work with a manufacturer on creating gear that bears your name, it should be for solving problems. You know what I'm saying? I have problems that I want solved so that I can do my music in a way that I'm like, what if I only had this and this and this, that would really be great. Well, that's what all of this stuff does. So the amplifier doesn't cause problems, well, wallet problems maybe, but it solves music problems that I need to have happen. I wanted a clean sound with a little bit of more girth, lead sound with a little bit more girth, and some sound that sounds like Armageddon or Guitarmageddon. And I wanted to have a really good reverb sound, and I wanted to have harmonic vibrato. Amp does all of that. So I show up now for a gig with this guitar, a chord. I got my little boost on here as well if I want a little bit more girth. I plug straight into the amp. I can get my clean sound. I can go between that and my lead sound. And I can add harmonic or vibrato, which is this sound, which is the greatest sound on earth, right? You want to just waste away an afternoon, you're just lost for hours on end. Anyway, so getting back to the pickups. So if I'm on this kind of a sound, so here's what it sounds like just when I'm on the neck pickup. that's just the neck pickup on the straight kind of white guard tellies. If I press this button in, I get a little bit more girth. So before, after. So that's just right on board the guitar. So a lot of times, if I'm going out and I'm doing a Fishman demo someplace, and they're like, well, what kind of amp? They don't have my signature amp in stock. I'll say, well, just have like a Fender 65 Deluxe reissue, and I'll go straight into that amp, and I'll turn it on about 7. And then if I roll back the volume on the guitar, it's nice and clean. Turn it up, it gets a little gnarly, and then I press that button in, and it's like the end of the world. So, and what's nice about it is that if you plugged in a regular single coil pickup and did that with one of the reissue amps, the low end would get real flubby and the high end would be like Blizzard of nails. So what these pickups do is they make the amp sound really, really good, like the recorded sound of what a telly would be cranked in reality in your mind, but the low end stays real tight and the high end is bright. You can hear the sizzle, but it's not like the Blizzard of nails, you know what I mean? It's not the ice pick in the forehead. So I just love sometimes just showing up with this guitar and a chord and going into whatever amp is available and just turning it up, and then I do the old school channel switching stuff. I just use my pinky on the volume control, right? So it makes life, it solves problems. And then there's no 60 cycle hum. I've got a 53 Telecaster at home. I harvested a kidney to get it. Not really, but it was not inexpensive. I got rid of a lot of different guitars because I always wanted an old black Artelli. It sounds magnificent. The neck pickup is microphonic as hell, but when you don't have gain on it, it sounds glorious. But it's, you know, if I put any gain on that middle position or neck pickup, it howls like a banshee in heat. So I can't really use it other than for rarefied situations where I'm gonna use that on a specific track or I play it around the house. As far as solving problems of having a tool that I can use live, that's where these pickups come in. Can you dig it? All right, so I'm gonna just kind of mess around a little bit. As you can hear, there's no 60 cycle hum. Something like that. A random rogering. Sorry, I yanked it a little bit out of tune. These new strings are a little, feeling the power of my savagery. All right, so when I decided to do a signature guitar, I wanted to have my pickups on it. So how it kind of came all together with Ken from Reverend is that initially I had one of his Pete Anderson models, and we put the Fishman Fluence pickups in it, and it sounded great. And he said, well, you know, Joe Naylor and I would love to work with you if you can, we ever figure out something that makes sense. So kind of always wanted a slightly larger bodied guitar because I'm a big fella, I'm 6'7", so every time I'm playing a guitar, it looks like kind of a ukulele on me. So this is about 2% larger all the way around, so it's more conducive to my abdomen. And it's got my pickups on it, and people are like, well, what's that little surround there? I just think this looks cool. Now, originally it was gonna be steel, but the steel was kind of messing with the Fluence pickup a little bit. So instead of having to figure out what metal wasn't gonna mess with the pickup, they put in this pickguard material, and it sounded great and it looked great. I was like, let's just do that. So this serves no other purpose other than to look cool, all right? And then the middle section's raised. So in order to weight relieve a body that's a little bit larger is that we just have a smaller, it's not quite as thick except for this elevated section, which kind of looks like a Firebird, and that's what the traditional girth of a regular guitar like this would be, right? And then our buddy Trevor Wilkinson has the great bridge and so on and so forth. But what's really exciting about this is that it's the first guitar that has my pickups on it that you can buy right out of the box. So, you know, and the pickups alone are $350. So to be able to go in now and get a cool guitar that looks great, sounds great, plays great, and has the pickups already installed is pretty doggone cool. Anyways. All right, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Any questions out there? I guess I got a couple minutes here. Well, actually, about a minute. But any questions on any of this stuff? Actually, just come up and see me, and we'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. I'm doing a thing with my trio, my son on pared down kit, hi-hat and snare, and then Toby Lee Marshall on a Hammond organ that we can fit on the stage. And so we'll see you at 4 o'clock. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Because the only reason that I made it through was to be with you. I pulled into town just after dark, drove by that place we used to park. Was it only 2 short years ago? As I look around, it all seems strange. It looks the same, but something's changed. I'll just keep on walking till I'm looking in your eyes, and one more mile. Yeah.